If Namco aren't going to give us any new characters for E3, then I guess I'll just have to go back and learn an old one. I actually used to play Alisa in the days of Tekken Tag 2. I mean, I wasn't great with her back then or anything, but my main team was Lars and Alisa, and she's sort of still in my muscle memory. Her moveset sort of comes out naturally to me still. And the only thing I felt I had to add to play her a little bit better in Tekken 7 was the down 3, which is her new move in Tekken 7. Which is a great move and a huge buff. It's the main reason she's so much better in this version of the game than she was in Tekken Tag 2. I remember that JDCR said that he thought that she was the worst non-DLC character in the game in Tekken Tag 2, which had a huge roster, so that gives you an idea of how much better she is now compared to in that game. It took me something like 20 wins to get from Warrior to Vanquisher this time. It went pretty smoothly, and I just thought I'd include a couple of games that I thought were interesting for you. This first one is actually the second game I had against a nice Cosme player. It was a really fun game, he played well, so I was really happy to start out with one of these sort of rare, respectful, fun matches that you don't get all too often online. Cancel the fly stance with down into the sad hound, which is that low with both hands. That's the low that enables Elisa's full crouch mix-up, and the move you saw there where she spins the while standing 1+2 is the mid mix-up for that full crouch mix-up. You can see here I mess up because I thought that Ender was going to kill. If I had done a rage art, it would have definitely have killed, and because I make that mistake, my opponent has the opportunity to come back with a rage drive, and I drop this round, so that was very sloppy. It's a great move, 4-4-4. I should use it more. I use a lot of 1-2 for punishing in this session instead of 1-1, and 1-1 is better for damage, but you know, you just get so used to using 1-2 when it's such a common input for so many characters, right?
Round 4. Fight.
Back to 4, another great move for her. Finish the string to see if he knows about that, get a little combo here, and here I decide to see if he knows about the frame data on the chainsaws. That finishing move I did where I flew it into the kind of like a corkscrew thing, that's fly stance 1+2 with chainsaws, and that's actually guaranteed in that get up situation. They can get away from it, but you can get it guaranteed pretty often because they get up with their back towards you. Not too many people know about that, and so it can lead to a decent amount of damage. You can see me get a sidestep down 4-2 right there. Classic strategy with Alisa. Her down 4-2 is safe. It's a great move. It doesn't launch crouchers. And this Josie, I actually played something like 3 or 4 times. I lost the first game, but I felt I lost unnecessarily, so I just kept playing him. So this is the second game. And I'm sorry I'm not going to include the loss. I just didn't think it was particularly interesting, but you can see that he has a win on me here if you look at the win count. And again, it was a pretty decent game. Do a quick little conversion, no huge damage, but it was something, you know. And the reason I'm doing these big unnecessary mids like the back 3+4 there is I'm just constantly looking for that hatchet kick from crouch dash. That's guaranteed, as you probably know. 50 damage. This player, by the way, was very good. The reason I kept losing rounds to him was that he was very, very good at predicting my lows and punishing them with hop kick. He was very good at that, and so I ate a lot of combos because of it. And it's, you know, he's probably using the hop kick from full crouch specifically because he's not confident about doing the combo off of while standing 2-1, which is kind of hard to get with Josie. It's finicky, but if you can do it, it's a 13 frame launcher, which is obviously better than the 15 on a hop kick. And that's the hatchet kick that I keep on trying to deal with, but I just I'm not able to predict. And again, you can see he's good at catching those lows and getting the hop kick.
Round 4. Fight.
Again, the running 2 into forward 1+2, and I keep trying to do the fancy 1+2 get up for Alisa, where she uses the jetpacks. It's gimmicky, and you can tell it doesn't do me any favors at all in this game, and I should have, you know, stopped trying it, but it's just a fun thing, you know, it's a fun move to hit with. And so you can see all of these unnecessary mistakes are leading to me dropping a lot of rounds unnecessarily. So that's a back 4, that's a counter hit launcher, which is obviously great. Do the Chanel wall combo there. That's what he uses in most situations for his wall combo. It's 1-2 and then hold 2. It's half decent damage, but it's also great for setups if you want Oki and stuff. And well, if you're playing Alisa, you should try and do what Chanel does, because he's by far just the best Alisa player in the world, by a margin, I think. Alright, next I ran into Kataruners, and with these online Katarinas, a lot of the time it's an issue of just predicting those big lows. And I felt that one was coming right there, so I tried a hop kick, and I think if you listen very closely you can actually hear the a little bit of the sound effect of her, I don't know if it was the slide shoot down back 3 or if it was snake edge, but I think it was either. So I was right to do a hop kick there. That's forward 3-2, which is a fast launcher with Alisa, her fastest standing launcher. Great damage, but the second hit is duckable. So you got to be careful about that. You should use it mainly for whiff punishing, but it is very good for whiff punishing specifically.
Round 3. Fight.
You can see I got the opportunity to play a bit with the chainsaws during the session. I really like them. I think they're actually good in this game. They've always been sort of ambiguously useful, but I think in this version of Tekken they're actually useful, and you should actually try to break them out every once in a while. Get a low parry. And here I try to get the wall, but as you can see I haven't had that many hours on the character in this version of the game yet, so I didn't know what to carry to the wall with. Probably would have been better to do the forward 3-4-3 right there. And then for the Usurper promotion I play against Miguel. As you know, like my favorite character, right away he does a beautiful sidestep and a hop kick, so playing proper nice Tekken. There you can see the get up option, and the reason I run up for down 3 there is if you do that fast enough you can actually get a full combo right there, which is crazy. It's not that hard to do, I just haven't practiced it, I just remember that it's possible, so I try to go for it there, but it is a lot of damage if you get it. Sidestep down 4-2. Didn't finish that combo because I had a gut feeling that I was going to drop. And that last move is your fish hook with Alisa, down forward 4, same input as Alisa, which is a very, very fast mid, 12 frames, which is basically as fast as mids get in Tekken. So it's a very, very good poking slash finishing tool and interruption tool, but you need to be aware that you have quite a number of minus frames on block, so it's not an offensive poke, but it is a very good poke. Catch a whiff with the hop kick. Another reason I think Alisa is stronger in this game is that she used to get very poor damage off of her hop kick, because that second hit right there used to be the bound move, you know, the spin move. So it was basically an auto bound or an auto spin, so you got pretty limited damage, but these days you can get 65 on a normal launch, which is very good. It's far above average actually for a hop kick. Now I play a Lily. He's doing pretty decent back dashing and stuff, so you know you gotta be very careful with Lily. That's a one of the best damage wall enders you have. The reason I like it is that she automatically takes the chainsaws out, and then you can get chainsaw Oki, which is pretty good. You have the down one for the low mainly. You can use down 2 sometimes, and then 1 is the main mid you will use, but forward 1 plus 2 is very good as well.
Round 2. Fight.
That's forward 1 plus 2, which is a long range whiff punishing launcher for Alisa. It's basically the chainsaw ender at the wall, only you don't take the chainsaws out. You stop the input earlier and you get that version, which is a pretty good launcher. Problem being that it is very punishable, launch punishable in fact in this game, so you have to use it when you have a read basically. And there the electric getup actually works out for me. Forward 1 plus 2 hits again. That time I actually failed to convert to the wall. Back 1, which is that sweeping mid, recovers in full crouch, so it allows you to go into your full crouch mix-up. And there I used the low, the sad hound. So that's a great option. Other options you have for accessing your full crouch mix-up are down back 3 and down 3 mainly. Or you can just duck, you know. This Katarina I actually included because I wanted to show you guys something. I think there's maybe some educational value to watching me play this guy. You'll see he does a snakeage right here and gets a massive combo. Katarina has very good damage on her snakeage. But then he just kind of keeps on doing a lot of snake edges, and when you have seen a couple from the same opponent, they get easier and easier to sort of predict and deal with.
Round 2. Fight.
So I blocked the slide shoot here for the wall. And you can see this time I was able to see the snake edge. So that should have honestly discouraged my opponent from doing more snake edges. If I've proven, once represented that I'm capable of seeing it, that I'm not, too tired or the connection isn't too bad or anything, that I can actually see them, then they become a pretty huge liability, and I would recommend that you go for other options.
Round 4. Fight.
But basically what happened instead, you can see there I hard read and just jump back and whiff punish it. That this player instead started kind of panicking because they weren't working, and he just kind of started doing more and more snake edges, which kind of made me feel like it's what he does when he's uncomfortable or when he's panicking, like it's kind of his go-to strategy. And this is something that you've heard me criticize snake edges before. I actually don't like them very much in this game because I think they tend to become a crutch for new players. They can get a lot of very juicy damage, but then they become a very bad habit. They can carry you to a point, but then there I actually eat another one. But he keeps on doing them, trust me. They become such a bad habit, and then when you get to a point as a player, they can't carry you any further, and then you're just not going to be able to win anymore. And you should have probably spent that time working on more difficult to do, boring to learn things like proper movement or something like that, Back 4 for the counter hit right there. And you can see he does another snake edge, and I see it. And he does another snake edge, and I see it. I don't get a proper combo either time though. The while standing 2 for Alisa is a little bit awkward, but it's not hard to combo off. And he does another snake edge and I see it. So you'd think that he'd sort of pick up on the pattern by now, but this is the thing. Snake edges become difficult to get away from once they've become, and that's the another one. Once you've sort of hammered them into your muscle memory and they become your go-to panic move is what I'm trying to get to here, which is why I decided to include both of the games I had against this player. I'm going to make a video talking specifically about snake edges at some point, but enough about that. This is supposed to be a video about Alisa, so let's talk about her. That's a cool little combo option you have if you don't know what to do after a spin. You can usually get a jab into up for 3-2. That's going to be the promotion match for Vanquisher. I got to play against a Paul, and Paul does a lot of damage. I'm sure you know that. And you can see me make a lot of mistakes here. That hop kick, he punishes that really well. With is it while standing 3-2 for Paul? That move. Very good damage, very powerful punish he has for that hop kick, so you gotta be careful. And of course, if you're playing against like Kazuya, they can actually launch it, so then you have to really hit the brakes on the hop kick. Maybe focus more on stuff like down forward 2. That's Alisa's Rage Drive. It's very explosive, so it's perfect for ending rounds. You know, one thing that annoys me about Trooper Roll from Paul is that you're supposed to sidewalk it and then you do, but after you sidewalk it he rolls so far that you still don't get the punish really, which is frustrating. And you can see again I ate the punish. That time I felt the Demo Man coming. Should have ducked that instead of getting hit right in the face by it. You see again a quick sidestep into Rage Drive, saves the day. Great move for Alisa. So many good buffs. Down 3 is a great move. Her new combos are great, even though the wall carry is pretty poor. And then that Rage Drive is really good too, so she's definitely come along. She's a strong character in this game. Well, no, she's mid-tier, but she's at least a real character. Gonna sneak in a hop kick here for the finisher. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys again very soon.